Hello and welcome to Yoga with Aunjel. I'm Aunjel, and today's video is all about yoga props and how to use them. I love props, y'all, and today we're going to be using everyday household items to help us get the job done. When I first started my yoga journey, I really needed some help or support and getting into some of the postures with more comfort and ease. But I didn't have the money to just go out and buy a bunch of props, right? So whatever your reason is today, we're gonna be getting creative, using the tools that we have around us to help us get the job done. Before we get started, I wanna start by saying that using props does not make you bad at yoga. It does not make you weak, nor does it make you less than. But if anything, yoga is about going inward. And when we show up by giving our body the support that it needs, we allow more space and opportunity to honor our truest self. We also allow the opportunity for our practice to be safer, more comfortable, and even more supported in some of those strengthening postures. So feel free to join me on the mat to try out some of these variations for yourself, and I will see you there. All right, folks, so today we're going to be going over 4 very common poses that people often experience discomfort in. The first is easy pose. This pose right here. Sometimes easy pose ain't so easy, and you're not the only one. If you find that you're experiencing a lot of pain or discomfort in your low back or even in your hips, I got some tips to help you out with that today. The first is something that you can do without any props at all. You just lean over to one side, grab a hold of that flesh here, move it on out the way, and set it right back down. Lean over to the other side, grab a hold of that flesh, move it out of the way, and set it right back down. What this is doing is allowing our sit bones to sit or to rest flat on the earth and be more supported. Oftentimes right away, this will alleviate some of the pressure on your low back. But if you've done that and you're like, Aunjel, my low back is still kicking, see if you can grab a hold of a blanket or even a pillow, prop it just underneath the sit bones, and rest here. Propping it up on a blanket is something that you'll see me access in my videos quite a bit. It really does help alleviate some of that pain or distress on your low back. If you're someone who in easy pose, you find that your knees are sitting up quite high, and that's providing some stress on your hips. One thing that you can do is grab a hold of a few blankets or pillows, adjust them to the height that is suitable for you, and then just prop them right underneath the thighs. Again, this will just help alleviate some of that stress of your hips as they're trying to fall towards the earth. You bring the earth up to you and providing a little bit more support. So give this a try in easy pose. Next, we're gonna go over child's pose. So in child's pose, your knees are as wide as the mat, your big toes are meeting, your hands or arms are extended, and your forehead, if it can, releases down to meet the ground. Now, child's pose is meant to be a restful pose. It is meant to be restorative. But again, oftentimes people experience quite a bit of discomfort in this posture. Now, if you find that you're experiencing most of the pain in your knees, I recommend grabbing a pillow and just propping that just behind the knees here. What this does is it lessens that angle and it gives you a little bit more breathing room. Now, if you give this a try and you find that still getting down to the earth is tough and you're feeling it in your hips and maybe your low back, grab a hold of a few blankets or another pillow if you haven't. Place it in between the knees, just beneath the chest here, and then release on down. By bringing the earth up to your chest, again, you are lessening that angle and creating a little bit more space for you to access this pose with some ease. Staff pose. Staff pose was a really tough pose for me for a long time, and it's mostly because my abs and the strength in my core here just wasn't quite there. And because of that, I felt that I had quite a bit of discomfort in my low back. So one thing that you can do, again, is just prop up on a blanket to release some of that tension on your low back. Rather than having the legs extended straight, you can invite a slight bend in the knees, lengthen through the spine, and turn on those abs. And if you are invited into a forward fold, what I would recommend is grabbing a hold of a strap. Now, if you don't have a yoga strap nearby, one thing you can use instead would be a belt or a large towel. Today, I have a belt. By using a belt, wrapping it around your feet, you can access this pose or poses like it with a little bit more ease, a little bit more support, with less strain on your low back. Straps are a really great way to increase flexibility. So I'd highly recommend using one or something like it during your practice. Now, another thing that a lot of folks struggle with, including myself, is low lunge. Oftentimes in low lunge, we just don't have the flexibility to meet the earth, right? For whatever reason, whether it's a mobility thing or an injury, oftentimes you will see or hear instructors really encourage people to grab a hold of a few blocks and place it to a height that works for them. Now again, if you don't have any blocks handy, there are a few things around the house that you can use. I would encourage you to use your own discretion. Be careful. Try to find something that is stable and firm, right? Something as similar to a block as possible. Today, I will be using a book. I just so happen to have 2 copies of this book. It is that good. But one thing that you can do, again, is find a book or 2. I'd recommend making sure that they are of similar thickness. And then again, adjusting it to a height that works for you. I feel the most comfortable with having my books being flat because they are the most stable. And so then when I am in a low lunge, I use these books here and I come onto my fingertips, using them primarily to help release some of the pressure. I'm not collapsing down onto the books, right? So I'm not really pressing firmly down into them, but I'm using them here just to rest on. Now, if you feel comfortable, you can try turning the books and standing them up. Again, I wouldn't recommend really pressing your weight down on them because they're not the most stable, but they can be quite helpful in releasing some of the tension. These books here are hard covers. I think that would be necessary if you're deciding to use a book for your practice. But go ahead and give that a try and let me know what you think. I hope that these tips were helpful for you folks. I am a firm believer that not having access to official yoga props should not keep you from your practice. So please get creative, see what's around your house, make sure to stay safe, and let me know what you think. Until next time, I see you, I thank you, I love you. Peace.